for Ward. Liam Thomas, Javon Powell, Jonathan Bell, Stevie Repahowski for Nicholls. Devontae Hall, Isaiah Sweeney, Sabri Thompson, Trayvon Joseph, and Ismail Lane for Northwestern State. Early three is missed by Joseph. Offensive rebound for Lane. New shot clock for Northwestern State. Devontae Hall shoots right over Adam Ward. He'll miss. And Liam Thomas, 2 points, gets an early rebound. And the Colonels have relied heavily on their senior from Sydney, Australia over the last few weeks. He's only hit 2 threes on the year. A long two-pointer is in. 4-0 Nicholls. Colonels fell 86-81 back on January the 12th in Natchitoches. Had a 13-point second-half lead before Northwestern came back and picked up the win. Isaiah Sweeney, he'll miss his first three-point attempt. Powell can run. Repahowski's open. 7-0 Colonels. And Mike McConaughey forced to call timeout 90 seconds into the game. You wondered what kind of start Nicholls would offer. 7 points. 82 seconds in, and the Colonels finding 2 field goals from Liam Thomas, another from Stevie Repahowski. Energy, not an issue. And the opening 1+ minutes for the Colonels, and after allowing Northwestern State to dictate control and comfort in the second half comeback against the Colonels a month and a half ago, this is just what Richie Riley needs with his team still in the playoff picture. Nicholls is 5-8 in the Southland. Northwestern State now 3-10 in conference play. 6-game losing streak for Mike McConaughey and Northwestern State. Something that is certainly surprising to see in a season that was filled with such promise. It ended quickly. Jalen West tore his ACL, same knee, second straight year. The incredible all-conference first-team scorer for Northwestern State had his season sidelined before he arrived. Easily a favorite to win Conference Player of the Year. And with West and Woodley not in the picture, Northwestern State struggling to keep possession. They'll turn it over for the second time tonight. Nicholls, a frenetic pace as they're trapping relentlessly on the sideline and across half court. Can't help but keep a close eye on Zeke Woodley as he did go through warm-ups this evening. He went through warm-ups before Thursday's loss against Southeastern. He looked good. He broke his wrist against Rice back in December, but he must have hit 8 or 9 straight threes during warm-up shooting drills. No sign that he'll re-arrive for Northwestern State, and the expectation is that he won't play until Wednesday's game against Lamar. Colonels have scored on their first 3 field goals, make it their first 4. Stevie Repahowski hit 6 threes in Thursday night's win against Central Arkansas. He's 2 for 2 from beyond the arc. 10-0 Nicholls. Isaiah Sweeney, his play has become such an important part of this Northwestern State offense over the last month of the year. And he gets his hands on the loose ball, draws the foul. It'll stay with the Demons. Sweeney has become the top scorer in Zeke Woodley's absence. Now you're still looking at Sabri Thompson and Ismail Lane to lead you in scoring, but Isaiah Sweeney, all of his starts coming since Woodley broke his wrist. 17th straight start for Northwestern State tonight. Sabri Thompson and Ismail Lane, they'll make this offense go, and Devontae Hall still one of the best pure passers in the conference. Joseph to Lane, collects, passes, and a wide open 3 that Thompson buries. Career high 38 points against Nicholls in January. And after scoring the first 10 points, last thing you wanted to do is see Sabri Thompson get a wide open look. Colonels put 81 on the board in that 5-point loss against Northwestern State a month and a half ago. Repahowski will keep firing and almost gets the soft bounce. Joseph claims the rebound, 1-on-3. No one stops him, but he misses the bunny. Another offensive rebound, the 3rd of the game for Northwestern State on the tip out. Thompson over Ward again, but the result a little different as Adam Ward tracks down the rebound, and Jonathan Bell, he'll challenge Sweeney and draw the foul without continuation. Jonathan Bell has been your surprise scorer all season and continues to struggle to gain recognition. He has not seen his stock rise throughout the Southland Conference, even though locally Jonathan Bell has been the most consistent double-digit scorer on this Colonel team. And he's all alone in the corner, won't shoot over Thompson, reaches the rim, floats it from 5 feet and draws the foul. He is a composed player. He went 3 games without making a 3 before hitting a couple against UCA. Thompson closed out aggressively and Bell was in control. Stay smart, sell the pump fake, get to the rim, 2 free throws. Jonathan Bell now averaging 13 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. He didn't know if he would have a roster spot when he arrived on campus last August from Garden City Community College. 1 for 2 for Bell, but Fry and Thomas contribute for the offensive rebound. 11-3 lead for Nicholls. Thomas and Repahowski, they made their first 4 field goals on the first 4 possessions. Powell, how did he find Thomas for the dunk? After tallying 13 assists against UCA on Thursday. Javon Powell picking up right where he left off. Great trap, fighting through his haul, and Thomas picks up the foul on what should have been the 100th block shot of his career. 100th block shot of the season. Instead, Liam Thomas picks up an early foul, and he's pacing underneath the hoop. You understand the frustration for Thomas. Looked like he was able to challenge Sweeney cleanly, block it out of bounds. Isaiah Sweeney, 2 free throws for Northwestern State. And he'll sink the first. Sweeney missed a couple 3-point attempts against Nicholls, and he was 0 for 13. Was 4 for 33 in his college career on 3s after he missed those 2. He has become one of the best 3-point shooters for Northwestern State over the last 9 games. So make both free throws. He's gone 14 for 28 on 3s since the game against Nicholls. Demons still trail by 8. And Liam Thomas, short corner jumpers all day long. 8 points, 4-4 shooting. Liam Thomas has not missed a shot against Northwestern State this season. He's now 7 for 7 from the floor against the Demons. Jordan Bell, first man off the bench for Northwestern State, and he'll pick up an assist. Aggressive dunk for Ishmael Lane, sophomore from Port Allen, picks up his first field goal. They need him to be a forceful figure in the block. Imposing presence. He gets his first 2, but closes out late on Powell. Didn't matter. Powell misses the 3. Thompson on the glass. Northwestern State trying to get back into the picture after giving up the first 10 points of the game. Sweeney, good bounce. Thompson not looking for a shot. Devontae Hall, the step back over Repahowski, no. Thompson can't contribute for the loose ball. Liam Thomas ends up with it, and Nicholls has a chance to spot up and run. Points in transition. It was the key in half number 2 against Central Arkansas. But a turnover by Liam Thomas will lead us to our first media timeout. Colonel's red hot start. Thomas and Repahowski 4 for 4 to start the game. Nicholls, they're 6 for 8 from the floor, 8-point advantage, and 2 of 4 on 3s. Repahowski and Thomas, 1 game removed from a career high 40 points between the 2 of them on Thursday. They have 14 of the first 15 for Nicholls tonight. Class for Nicholls, still looking for their first win against Northwestern State. 15-7 Colonels. Liam Thomas, Janante Fry, they are 0-7 in their career against the Demons, and there have been some back and forth games, absolute battles between the Demons and the Colonels. Great start for Nicholls tonight. Sabri Thompson an early three. But he will watch his lane, pivots and misses on the baseline, and Jonathan Bell doesn't need a fast break. Challenges 3 Demon defenders. He'll pull back and allow Powell to run the show. Javon Powell has been one of the best point guards in the conference over the last 2 weeks. And his numbers replicate the success we've seen, especially in this 2-man game with Liam Thomas. Sweeney on the deflection. Thomas will try to roll again. Good coverage by the Demons with the clock at 4. Deep pull up. It's short by Bell. Richie Riley telling Jonathan Bell, don't panic, drive it. Open 3, left corner and in. Isaiah Sweeney. What did we say about his 3-point shooting? Came in 4 for 33 against the Colonels in January over his 2 years at Portland State and Northwestern State. He's now 15 for his last 29. Demons within 5. 14 minutes to play in the first half. Bell, this time he does attack. No continuation provided. They'll keep it on the floor. Brett Weaver yelling from the bench, they can't stop you, Bell. And it's something that Coach Riley is trying to impart in his senior guard. You can hit jumpers. We like your shooting touch from the outside. Take the ball to the rim, make them stop you inside. Repahowski, Rutledge, Ward, Jadante Fry, and Javon Powell in the game for Nicholls. Tanner Hamilton will check in for Northwestern State. Lane will exit. And it's Thompson, Hall, Josh Boyd, and Jordan Bell for Northwestern State. Colonels on top by 5. With Lafayette Rutledge and Stevie Repahowski in the game, Javon Powell will have a lot of passing options. These are 2 shooters who do not waste much time once the ball's in their hands, especially Lafayette Rutledge. Javon Powell, he can also shoot it, but his 3 is long. Poor possession for the Colonels. Isaiah Sweeney, great feed to the interior. Easy layup for Bell. Immediate timeout by Richie Riley, and it was the previous possession that frustrated Coach Riley. Inbound to your point guard, doesn't use the screen, and then takes a deep 25-foot shot that was long off the rim. Cannot provide easy transition opportunities for Northwestern State tonight. Do not be fooled by this 3-10 mark in conference play by Northwestern State. They've lost 6 games in a row. They ended up losing 7 games in a row last year before they came into Thibodaux and beat Nicholls. Zeke Woodley, Jalen West, their absence has decimated the postseason aspirations of Northwestern State. But Mike McConaughey has won 276 games in his 18 years because he is one of the more creative and crafty coaches in the business. Go ask Southeastern about Mike McConaughey. He brought Northwestern State into Hammond in early February and ended a 16-game home winning streak for Southeastern. This Demon team is still capable, but they have a lot of inexperienced players that are trying to grow throughout this season. Colonel 10-point lead down to 3. Fry, first time he can post up, sells it, gets by Thompson, blocked at the rim, and it's out of bounds off of Bell. Jordan Bell, 6'8", 225 pounds, grew up in Inglewood, California. And he has been the big benefactor of some of these injuries. His playing time has dramatically increased. Colonels have 10 seconds on the shot clock. Powell trying to ISO on Tanner Hamilton, down to 3 seconds. Desperation shot by Ward, will not happen. And back-to-back forgettable possessions for the Colonels. Tanner Hamilton plays about 6 minutes a night. Jordan Bell, he'll give you 20 minutes of burn as of late, but his numbers are still at that 11-12 minute mark on the season, yet those were 2 of the first 2 Demons off the bench for Northwestern State tonight. And they do have a thin bench, but encouraging for Hamilton that he gets an early look. Thompson can't come up with his second 3, and Adam Ward, he soars for his second rebound. It's been a 3.5 minute drought for the Colonel offense. Ward will try to change that with a jumper, and he will. First field goal in 4 games for Adam Ward. Javon Powell, he'll come up with a dime. And now an offensive foul as Stevie Repahowski takes the charge. If Jonathan Bell has been the most underrated contributor for this Colonel team this season, Stevie Repahowski is right behind him. He didn't start a game in non-conference, made his 11th straight start when he was the first part of the first 5 this evening. He's 10 for his last 13 from the floor over the previous 2 games. Nobody is more willing to sacrifice their body on this Nicholls State University roster than Stevie Repahowski. And after watching Northwestern State shave 7 points off the Colonel advantage, 10-point lead was down to 3. You get a jumper by Ward. Nicholls forces the turnover, and 8 minutes into the game, Javon Powell trying to identify some more shooting lanes against a big Northwestern State defense. They've got some wide bodies in the game, and the shot clock's already down to 10. Repahowski, how did he get open? Third 3 of the first half. He's now 4th in the conference in 3-point makes in Southland Conference play. 3 threes, first 8.5 minutes. Josh Boyd all alone in bricking the 3. His scoring has plummeted over the last month of the year. Jadante Fry without a field goal to start tonight's game, but he has embraced this reserve role over the last 2 games. Powell open, alone, shoots over Thompson, leaves it long, but there's Fry for the rebound. Repahowski's open, 4th time tonight. No, but Repahowski watches as Fry has his back. Jadante Fry put back to hand the Colonel lead back to 10. 22-12. Nicholls was up 10-0 to start this game. Northwestern State closed the gap, and they'll draw a reach-in on Lafayette Rutledge, but Nicholls utilizing a wide array of scores. Repahowski with 9. Liam Thomas scored 8 early points before he had to exit due to a couple early fouls. Jadante Fry on the putback layup, and Nicholls has a 22-12 lead with 10:49 to play in the first half. Bailey Walker will take the floor for Northwestern State. He has Ishmael Lane, Jordan Bell, Trayvon Joseph, and Devontae Hall joining him. Adam Ward, Jadante Fry, Lafayette Rutledge, Javon Powell, and Stevie Repahowski for Nicholls, and it's Rutledge on the steal and the score. Lafayette Rutledge entered tonight's game with 74 field goal attempts since he returned from his broken foot 3 weeks ago. 74 field goal attempts in 6 games. 68 were threes. He would have preferred to pull up and shoot the 3, but sometimes layups are just too easy. Rutledge attempted 32 field goal attempts the last 2 games. All were 3-pointers. Can't cash in on the free throw, and Ishmael Lane comes up with the rebound. Largest lead of the first half for Nicholls. Northwestern State having major issues against this trapping and pressuring defense that Nicholls has offered from the opening jump. Now with the clock down to 9, Devontae Hall, desperation jumper by Sweeney. He's fouled by Ward. 3 freebies, Trayvon Joseph. And a good look by Devontae Hall to improvise, locate a shooter. 3 free throws for Trayvon Joseph. Liam Thomas ready to re-enter. He scored 8 points in the first 6 minutes of the game. And the approach with Thomas has been altered over the last month and a half. When he picks up his first foul of the game, he exits. And with Joseph making the first 2 attempts, down to a 10-point game. When you have a thin bench, you have to make some changes. And Richie Riley decided, you know what, we just cannot afford to play that 2-foul game with Liam Thomas. If he picks up his second foul in the first half, he'll exit until half number 2 arrives. But they try to stagger those fouls instead of allowing them to happen back-to-back. 9-point game off of 3 made free throws, and Thomas throws it away. Devontae Hall against Powell, misses this shot. Easy rebound and a layup by Joseph. 5 straight by Trayvon Joseph. And it was the Colonels panicking at midcourt. We expected a frenetic pace in a game that should easily lead to points in the 80s or 90s. 24 points in the first 10 minutes for Nicholls tonight. It's been Repahowski and Thomas doing the bulk of the scoring load, but Rutledge, he wants to get in on the act. He will. Bailey Walker, too late in his arrival. 5 points in 2 minutes for Rutledge. He is a professional scorer. Enters the game, immediately looks and finds his shot. Nicholls back on top by 10. And a high lob that almost went in for Hall. Powell will claim the rebound. He's got Thomas running and drawing the foul. 2 free throws for Liam Thomas. Northwestern State allowing the Colonels to get out and run, something Nicholls did not do at all in the first half of Thursday's win against Central Arkansas. 36 first half points. Colonels were down 6 with under 3 minutes to play. Thomas missing the first free throw attempt. Lead stays at 10. But Javon Powell, he started pushing the pace, and a lot of those 13 assists came in secondary breaks. He was finding shooters, and Nicholls was able to get back in the game. Liam went 13 for 14 from the free throw line during a 4-game stretch. Last 4 games, counting that 1 for 2 split, he's now 7 for his last 16. 9 points in 9 minutes for Thomas. Colonels have an 11-point advantage, but Trayvon Joseph right to the rim again. 2 more free throws for him. Trayvon Joseph playing with a chip on his shoulder against the Colonels. It was an embattled game in January between Nicholls and Northwestern State. Trayvon Joseph picked up an early technical, then he was involved in a play that led to the ejection of DeAndre Harris. He's 4 for 4 from the free throw line, and he's been the top scorer for Northwestern State tonight. Another miss, and Northwestern State hanging in this game because of their free throw shooting. They are 7 for 7 from the line, 5 for 16 from the floor. Nicholls led for almost the first 30 minutes in January before Northwestern State finally came back and took the lead after Harris was ejected. It's been all Nicholls tonight. Rutledge all alone, shoots over Boyd. His second 3 is long. Joseph on the glass. Demons anxious to find some support scoring for Trayvon Joseph. Sabri Thompson hitting early 3. Jordan Bell, he'll handle the rock, can't finish. Thomas on the tip out to Thompson. Show and go, he throws it to Javon Powell. Thank you very much. Easy layup, Powell. Javon Powell has been second in the conference in steals all season, but he just came up with the easiest one of his life. Quick baseball pass to Lane. It's ripped away by Bell, saved and scored. Heads up play, Ishmael Lane. He scored 32 points last week against Abilene Christian. Pretty much an identical sophomore season to what he produced his freshman year. 11.6 rebounds, 1 assist. He is capable. And a couple early buckets in the paint for him, but he can't stop Fry, who draws the foul. Free throws for Nicholls when we return to Thibodaux. Colonel offense in high gear through the opening 12-plus minutes of this game. It's been spread out between Thomas, Repahowski, and Rutledge. 23 of the Colonels' 30 points, 9-point lead for Nicholls. A historic stretch of passing for Javon Powell continuing for Nicholls tonight. Junior point guard came up with 13 dimes in Thursday's win against Central Arkansas. He came in with 28 assists over his last 3 games. Javon Powell, in 12 minutes tonight, he has 8 assists. And Nicholls has a 10-point lead. No, they don't. Jadante Fry missed a free throw, and I'm shocked. Jadante, he has not been missing free throws. Came in 14 of his last 15 from the line. He'll hit the second. Fry has been able to elevate himself from a 64% free throw shooter to a 74% shooter over the last 10 games. 1 for 2 as Powell comes up with another steal. A lot of options. No need to give it up. And that's fine by Ismail Lane. He re-arrived in the picture, swats it, and now the Demons have a 2-on-1. Sabri Thompson challenged by Thomas, and that's all it takes. A panic play, and now a reach-in by Bell. Nicholls has free throws. Javon Powell picks up 8 assists in the first 12 minutes. He had a 3-on-2 to work with. Thought he had an easy pass to the bucket. Lane came out of nowhere, but Nicholls was fortunate to have Liam Thomas protecting the hoop. 1-on-1 for the Colonels, and Thomas will make the free throw. His mom Warren and Carolyn are in Thibodaux for the 2nd straight game. They flew in Wednesday from Sydney, Australia, arrived Wednesday. Modern airfare, remarkable. And Liam continues to play the best basketball of his life when Warren and Carolyn are in attendance. Now, he's had a tremendous senior season. He still leads the country in block shots. He should be a first ballot Nicholls State University Hall of Famer. But 18 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 blocks when mom and dad are in attendance for the first time this year. Thomas may be on the verge of topping that total. Liam Thomas stuck on 10 points and 3 rebounds. He misses the second. Colonels protecting an 11-point lead. Defense, the difference through the first 13 minutes for Nicholls tonight. Bell, great backdoor feed. Thompson met at the rim. He still scores over Thomas. Smart defensive play for Thomas. He avoids that second foul, but Sabri Thompson, flat out score. 38 against Nicholls in January, the 6th most in Demon history. What an individual performance that was in the comeback against the Colonels. 38 of 86 points in the 86-81 win for the talented senior guard from Newark, Delaware. Another late shot clock situation for the Colonels, down to 5. Bell has Repahowski, last second 3. He can't pick up his 4th of the game, and the Demons back in the picture. Josh Boyd was an early favorite for Conference Freshman of the Year. Had an emergency appendectomy before the Lamar game. He's from Beaumont. Hasn't been the same player since. Great high-low feed. Ismail Lane, he knows Thomas has a foul. And Liam Thomas plays off. Back-to-back field goals inside for Northwestern State. Ismail Lane with 6 points. Works the high, handoff, exchange, finds Repahowski, up and in, 4th 3 of the game for Repahowski. All 7 field goal attempts are 3s. You have to admire what he has been able to do over the last 2 games. 10 threes in 2 must-win games for Nicholls. Jordan Bell showing his depth. 3-pointers long, 30% three-point shooter, can't connect, and Nicholls has a lead back at 10, and they're in possession. Colonels jumped out to a 10-0 advantage, and Northwestern State, try as they might, they've been unable to close the gap. Slipping, catching, and passing is Thomas. He's got Repahowski. 5th 3 of the game won't fall. Northwestern State can run. Sabri Thompson spins into Powell, collects, and finishes. 14 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist per game. He's now at 1,033 points in his Northwestern State career. That's 30th all-time with the Demons. Powell, great bounce pass, 9 assists. And Mike McConaughey shaking his head on the Northwestern State sideline. Devon Powell is just becoming second nature. Cut up opposing defenses. Repahowski gets caught on the switch, and Ismail Lane bully ball, can't finish, gets the offensive rebound, and an immediate three buried by Josh Boyd. He averaged 7 points per game the first 9 of the year, 15 points per game the first 5 in conference, but he scored 1 point against Nicholls in January, has been averaging just 7 points per game since then. Encouraging sign for the freshman to hit an early three. Great sell by Repahowski, a comfortable 18-footer. First two-pointer of the game for Repahowski. He had a career-high 22 points on Thursday, 14 first-half points for Stevie Repahowski tonight. Boyd just hit 1 3. He'll shoot this one over Rutledge and make another. We thought Jelani Friday and Josh Boyd would be our favorites to win Freshman of the Year, but Friday is going to run away with it. Boyd could end up being the better player. Thomas thought about shooting the three over Lane. He'll stay and secure possession with Powell. Into the double team, late fake, pump and score. 12 points for Liam Thomas, assist to Jonathan Bell. You deal with the two tallest and biggest players for Northwestern State, but no panic for Thomas, stays poised. 8-point lead for Nicholls. Tough matchup for Rutledge, but he prevails, yet it's Liam Thomas off of the miss. He'll collect his second foul, and the Colonels will make a decision with 3 minutes to play in the first half. Great start for Liam Thomas, but he has 2 fouls with 3:01 left in the opening frame. Colonels, 41-33 advantage behind 28 combined points between Liam Thomas and Stevie Repahowski. Complex playoff picture in the Southland Conference, getting more and more intriguing. Colonels have an 8-point advantage tonight. Nicholls is at 5-8 in Southland Conference play. Southeastern just lost to SFA today. Central Arkansas, they lose their second straight game against New Orleans after the overtime defeat against Nicholls on Thursday. UCA and Southeastern are both 7-8 in SLC play. Colonels could be a half game back if they can prevail tonight. Ishmael Lane up to 7 points for Northwestern State. Finished first in rebounding among freshmen last year. Was 5th in the conference in field goal percentage. And he has been the most consistent scorer for the Demons this evening. Coach McConaughey will unveil his 1-2-2 3/4 court pressure for the first time tonight. With Repahowski and Rutledge on the floor, a lot of defensive concerns with playing off on the perimeter. Fry takes the pass, shoots the three, and makes it. First field goal of the night for Janante Fry. Still leads the conference in minutes played per game, but he always seems to be in control. Thompson runs into Fry, draws the foul. 2 free throws for the senior. Colonel 3-point shooting. It has been the top strength and success for this team all season long, and sure, there have been some unproductive nights where you hit 9 or 10 threes because you're shooting 30 to 35 times, but the Colonels have averaged just under 10 threes per game this year. They've been first in the Southland all season. Nicholls with 6 made threes in the first 17.5 minutes of this game. And Sabri Thompson, after going 11 for 12 from the line in his career high performance against Nicholls in January, 2 misses. Fry tempted to shoot over Boyd, looked up, saw 20 seconds on the clock, thought otherwise, and with 9 first-half assists for Javon Powell, let him run the offense. Rutledge, give him number 10. Little long, Thompson takes the rebound. Josh Boyd, 2 early threes for Northwestern State. And with Devontae Hall out of the game, he'll take over point guard responsibilities. Good feed, tough matchup for Fry. Nothing you can do. Ishmael Lane, 10 first-half points, and when he scored 32 against Abilene Christian last week, it was easy to think that that was just a sign of things to come for the sophomore. It's been an offensive onslaught in the first half for Nicholls, and they are comfortable with allowing the clock to tick down. 90 seconds on the game clock, shot clock at 4. Javon Powell, nice lob. And Bell will have 2 free throws. Late lob, Bell was ready. And with the Colonels on top 44-37, we'll get 2 attempts for Jonathan Bell. Scoreboard reads 45-37. Mike McConaughey protesting it, and they should be able to rectify this shortly. Just provides more fuel to the fire of Northwestern State. They brought a police escort from Natchitoches to Thibodaux. They have 4 police officers surrounding their bench and just adding some extra protection in case of what, I don't know, but they're here. And Coach McConaughey asking his manager to go and speak with a few of the Nicholls employees and control the book, and they should be able to clear this up shortly. In the meantime, Jonathan Bell, he gets to shoot free throws, and he'll make the first. As it stands, it's 46-37 Nicholls. And even though it appeared as if the game book and the scorebook were mismatched and there were some incorrect numbers being inputted, referees will confirm that it's a 46-37 lead for Nicholls and make it 47-37. Mike McConaughey doesn't believe it. And our live stats had indicated that there should be a point removed from the equation. They will take a look at it. And in the meantime, free timeouts. Both teams get to meet. Quick conversation between Danny Chance, Henry Howard, and Steve Orkus. Our 3 officials will sort this matter out and see if the Colonels do have an extra point that's been provided to them.
They're saying that we have the wrong score, so we need to figure out the last few possessions.
31 when you took the shot.
All right, go back to the 2. What do you have?
I have the score the same. They accidentally marked it
down
as 2.
45.
It was a 3, so I told him that.
That's what I'm saying. This don't matter. I want to know what she's got.
Right, but we're going to make sure that we got the right thing. So where's the you know where the controversy is?
Yeah, so it's at 231.
So you go to 231.
It's a 3-point
Right here.
shot by number 14.
You didn't see no single 3-pointer. So it's 41-35. And then the next bucket is a 3. So that's 44.
No.
Yeah, the scoreboard right now says 41, and he just hit a 3, so it should be 44. Because the scoreboard was right at the time. So they're right. That scoreboard says 41-35, and he hits a 3-point shot.
That is 42. But on racing, I think you were right.
Well, you just need to check at 316 was he shooting a basket.
Back up to 316. Now we're good.
36-37 Nicholls. Took us about 5 minutes, but we figured it out. There was a freebie point that was presented to Nicholls. Colonel still have a 9-point lead off the 2 made free throws by Jonathan Bell, and we can play out the final 1:19 of the first half. Colonel shooting just under 60% in the opening frame. They've made 6 of 14 threes. Trayvon Joseph, 2-man game with Devontae Hall. Dribbles out of the trap, throws it to the free throw line. Lane misses the 15-foot jumper. And Jadante Fry, he is creating some huge opportunities for the Colonels because of his defensive rebounding. And Nicholls locates Fry on the oop. Can't finish the first time. Second time he will. With Zach Young in the game, Colonels trying to expand their bench, and Young contributes to the steal by Fry. 4-second differential, game clock, shot clock. Fry has to put his shoe back on. Nicholls has led start to finish. Scored on the first possession of the game with Liam Thomas. They jumped out to an early 10-0 lead. 48 first half points for Nicholls. They are guaranteed a lead, but can they expand it even further? Shot clock sits at 9. Powell and Fry ready to roll. Powell, no one stops him. Left hand too strong. Lane to midcourt. Zach Young on the floor. Clocks at 3. Late jumper is off the backboard and hits the suspension. And it was a panic play by Trayvon Joseph that was created by Zach Young.
I got it.
Zach Young has only played in a couple conference games this year, but be ready when your number is called. Junior from Wellington, New Zealand, contributed on the steal, and now Nicholls has 1.1 seconds to play. Repahowski, he'll let it fly, gets it off, banks it long, and they'll say it was actually a split second too late. Good news for Repahowski. Cannot give him another 3-point miss considering the success that we saw in the opening frame. Repahowski goes 4 for 8 on threes, 14 first half points for Stevie Repahowski. He and Liam Thomas both led the Colonels with 14 apiece. Liam Thomas, 14 points in 14 minutes. All Nicholls in the opening half against a team that they've lost 7 straight games to. Nicholls 48, Northwestern State 37. We will see you for half number 2.
Check. It says up there 20 has 2,000, only has 1, right? Okay.
Up there, don't worry about up there. Dude up there took a sleeping pill today. What's going on, Austin? Okay, so right here at 5:40, at 5:49, I had to score 35-25.
Okay, so we're right there.
All right. So
then the next should be around 4:40.
That's all I wanted you to get. So you're just 1 point off at that point. You're good. Good job, Hillary.
5 points.
5 points.
2.
Has 1 foul, 6 points. 1 foul.
20.
20 has 1 foul.
10 points.
Yeah.
21.
Foul. 7 points. And 34 has 1 foul and 2 points.
Okay. So I've got to take a foul off of 20. A point off of 0. And a point off of Okay.
irrelevant right now. Let the clock run out, and I'll fix it.
You did good. You need to keep playing on.
We're ready to go. Half number 2, Northwestern State and Nicholls. Colonels with a 48-37 lead at the half. Javon Powell, 9 first half assists. And when you have shooters all over the floor, life is easy for the Colonel point guard. 6 first half threes for Nicholls. 14 first half points for Stevie Repahowski. He hit 5 threes against Northwestern State back in early January. 4 in the first half tonight. And Northwestern State, they are well aware of the Colonel's interest in trapping and pressuring on every possession. Hall, Lane, Sweeney, Sabri Thompson, and Trayvon Joseph for Northwestern State. Javon Powell almost came up with a steal on the first possession. He's got Liam Thomas, Jonathan Bell, Stevie Repahowski, and Adam Ward joining him. Colonels may have found a new approach, a new plan with Jadante Fry. Tough attempt in the paint. Resistance met from Sweeney. It's the 100th block of the year for Liam Thomas, and he'll force another late miss and contribute to a new possession for Nicholls. First block of the night for Liam Thomas is the 100th of his 2017 season. Jadante Fry in a reserve role for the second straight game. He opened the year as a starter in the first 24 for Nicholls. And as Thomas goes backdoor to Bell and allows Jonathan to get a couple free throw attempts, you're seeing Coach Riley create a new plan and a new approach for the final 3 weeks of the season. We are 18 days away from the opening round of the 2017 Southland Conference Tournament. Colonels control their fate. They would be a half game out of the 7th and 8th seed in the conference tournament if they can hold on tonight. Jadante Fry off the bench the last 2 games, and he still leads the conference in minutes played per game. Jonathan Bell quietly going about his job. 4 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds for Bell. His passing has really elevated over the previous couple of games. Jonathan Bell came in with 12 assists his last 2 games after 32 in his first 24. 3 more this evening, and Nicholls now has their largest lead of the game. Sabri Thompson, his first field goal was a 3. It was the first bucket of the game for Northwestern State, and their first field goal in the second half. Same story. Trayvon Joseph, he was 1 for 4 from the floor in the first half. He's now the second demon in double figures. 109th game of his Northwestern State career. He has never lost to Nicholls. He and Sabri Thompson both 7-0 against the Colonels. Powell all alone, but he drives by Lane, late dish, assist, number 10 will have to wait. And then a late reach, and Colonels come up with the kick, but too much contact before the deflection. And 93 seconds into the second half, Adam Ward, he'll take a seat. Jadante Fry is in. Just gives you a different look for those first few possessions when you can put Ward into the game and allow Fry some comfort in coming in off the bench. Isaiah Sweeney runs into Thomas, not sure if he'll get credited with the block, but it's a deflection and Colonel possession. Repahowski all alone. Powell doesn't see him. He wants to keep it and score it. A little strong. Shots long. Thompson comes up with the rebound. Ron Powell, great passing performance tonight, but he's 1 for 7 from the floor. Colonels were on top 10-0 in the opening 2 minutes of the game before Northwestern State could respond. 10-point lead, 2 minutes into the second half. But Devontae Hall gets a wide open three and misses it. Lane runs into Thomas, gets the easy putback, and there was nothing that Liam Thomas could do. He's cautious with his 2 fouls, and once Ishmael Lane came up with possession, it's over. 12 points, 7 rebounds. That's his 5th offensive rebound of the game. Ishmael Lane also staying out of foul trouble. Bell steps back, tough 18-footer, lucky to even hit the net. Lane with his 8th rebound. Devontae Hall leads the conference in assists, but Thompson can't hook him up. Repahowski, his rebounding also has become a big factor in his play as of late, but Powell pocket picked it midcourt. Lane, no problem on the layup. 2-possession game. 7 straight for the Demons. Richie Riley requesting a timeout. And with 16:43 to play in the game, 7-0 run for Northwestern State. Colonels expected an inevitable run from Northwestern State. It's arrived a little sooner than they wanted. To 44. Colonels have led start to finish, but Northwestern State, they have awakened. 7 straight for the Demons. Jonathan Bell, Jadante Fry, Javon Powell, Liam Thomas, and Stevie Repahowski for Nicholls. Hall, Sweeney, Joseph, Lane, and Thompson for Northwestern State. Jadante Fry out of control. He saves it late. Repahowski unselfish for Fry. He cannot reward Repahowski, and Ishmael Lane's about to come up with a double-double. 9th rebound of the game for Ishmael Lane. Hall, nice push, gets the separation, misses the shot, and Lane is fortunate he didn't pick up his 2nd foul. Strong box out by Liam Thomas. Careless pass up the floor, and Hall comes up with his 2nd steal of the second half. Sweeney all alone, waits, shoots, and makes the 3 over Repahowski. 10 straight by Northwestern State. They're within 3. Trayvon Joseph Made 3 free throws in the first half when he was fouled on a 3. First 3 of the game in the second half, and now Nicholls needs to dig in. Foul. First 3 of the game, same spot. He hit a 3 to open up overtime on Thursday night. 7th 3 of the game for Nicholls. They're back on top by 6. Quick hands by Bell, knocks it away from Lane. Repost, Ishmael Lane, Liam Thomas, and a pass for a 17-footer that Hall rushed all alone. Javon Powell now with 5 points, 9 assists, and 2 rebounds. And he'll use the screen from Thomas, won't look for the roll. Cautious start in half number 2 for the Colonels. They scored 48 points in the first half, and there is assist number 10 for Javon Powell. That's what he did for the first 20 minutes. 13 assists on Thursday, dishing out dimes all night long tonight. He is a master of the pick and roll. This time it was Isaiah Sweeney attempting a deep right arc 3. Misses it. Jonathan Bell waited a little too long. He was challenged at the rim by Sweeney. Kept waiting for a defender to arrive, and he ended up waiting too long. And now a reach in on Fry. We'll have free throws for Northwestern State when we return to Thibodaux. Colonels have led for 100% of this game, but you are never comfortable against Mike McConaughey in Northwestern State. Coach McConaughey is now 276 and 275 in his career. Northwestern State is 17 and 35 the last 2 seasons because of all the injuries to Zeke Woodley and Jalen West. For these Colonel seniors who have never beaten Northwestern State, it would be an honor for them to hand Coach McConaughey his 276th loss. Feels like an impossible task sometimes when you watch the way the Demons are able to come back. 13-point lead was cut to 3, but it's 5 straight for Nicholls. They're on top by 8 with 14.5 minutes to play.
Gotta be something he got in his pocket. Gotta be.
Ishmael Lane and Trayvon Joseph sparking the Demon comeback. They trail by 8, but those two have 25 points and 14 rebounds. And Ishmael Lane, career night on the offensive glass. 7 offensive rebounds for Lane. 32 points against Abilene Christian last week. His career high in rebounding is 14. He still has 14.5 minutes to top that total. Free throws for Northwestern State out of the timeout. Isaiah Sweeney, junior from Compton, California. He'll make the first. Started his career at Portland State, and he was actually called one of the most athletic players that were ever signed by Tyler Geving and this Portland State staff. Didn't work out in the Big Sky. He ended up at East LA College last year. First season with Northwestern State, and he'll make both free throws. Strong night for Isaiah Sweeney. 7 points, 4 rebounds, an assist, steal. Lead sits at 6 for Nicholls. Jadante Fry has made 1 3 in the game. Gets cut off baseline by Bell. Rutledge, you knew that was going up. Lafayette Rutledge, 32 3-point attempts in the previous 2 games. He's 2 for 4 from beyond the arc tonight. Nicholls has 8 makes from distance. Boy, great slip to Bell, easy field goal, and a late foul on Repahowski. Jordan Bell, he has been the benefactor of the unfortunate injuries that have sieged this season for Northwestern State. Was not playing a lot early, but after attempting 10 field goal attempts in his first 8 games of the year, Bell 63 in his last 13. He had 6 points and 7 rebounds versus Nicholls back in January. He'll finish up the 3-point play. And it's 58-52 with 13:50 to play. This is the stretch of the previous game between Nicholls and Northwestern State where it got really interesting. Final 14 minutes. Had a few technicals that were issued, and the pace became incredibly challenging. Colonels will cross half court with a second to spare, and it's deflected out of bounds by Jordan Bell. And Richie Riley has to walk along press row, track down the loose ball, and bounce it back into midcourt. Colonels are ready for the inbound with 19 seconds on the shot clock. Lafayette Rutledge crossed with 21 seconds exactly on the clock. He'll shoot a three over Bell. Great contest, shots long, tipped out, and Trayvon Joseph, he's in control of the board. Boyd trailing, he's hit 2 threes in this game. Sweeney really wanted to offer his second hit. Patient set for Northwestern State after cutting a 13-point deficit down to 6, and that's where it'll stand off the missed 3. Powell with the opportunity to spark a transition look, but he'll wait for reinforcements. Javon Powell in the running for Conference Player of the Week with his performance the last 2 games. Rutledge has not been this wide open all year. He'll miss his 4th three-point attempt in 6 tries. Colonels became really 3-point happy in the second half against Northwestern State in January. They went 5 for 22 on threes in the second half after making 6 of 10 in the first half. A lot of good looks, but this is what Northwestern State wants. Ishmael Lane, Jordan Bell, those are your 2 big bodies for Northwestern State, but you have a lot of medium size and strength that make it difficult to guard the perimeter. Trayvon Joseph, 6'5", 200. Sabri Thompson, 6'3", 200. Isaiah Sweeney, 6'3", just under 200. They want to cover the middle. Thompson, nice drive and kick. Hall's not looking for the 3. William Thomas just stepped back in. Bell can shoot it, won't dare over Rutledge. Ward has to gamble, and now Hall can reset with the clock at 15. Thomas plays off, contests the shot, tipped out to midcourt, and Bell can track it down. Offensive rebounds have been the difference for Northwestern State tonight. They're up to 11. Long possession for the Demons. Thompson, left wing 3, it's off right. Liam Thomas cannot box out Josh Boyd, and he'll have free throws. Josh Boyd is 6'1", 200 pounds. And he just cleared Thomas and Ward from the picture. Boyd had 26 points on New Year's Eve against McNeese. Came in and played Nicholls 2 weeks later and had just 1 point, and he is still trying to regain his form. Had the emergency appendectomy the night before the game against Lamar, and he will airball a free throw attempt. 65% free throw shooter. He is a grounded shooter. Does not offer a lot of height and separation when he rises up to shoot his jumpers. Made 2 early threes in the first half. And you knew he was going to stick the second one. 1 for 2, lead stands at 5. Colonels were up 13 a minute into the second half. And Javon Powell trying to steady this offense. Repahowski has been shut down in the second half, scored 14 in the first half, hasn't been able to register a shot in the second half, and an off-ball hold on Northwestern State. Only the second foul of the second half on Northwestern State. 5 of the first 6 win against the Colonels. Nicholls will have some time to diagram and discuss their game plan. Final 11:45 from Thibodaux. Nicholls maintaining a 5-point lead.
That's not the book has been record. That's just for show. We need a show. We need a show, she said. She just said you had the wrong points. I don't know what's wrong. Yeah.
It's hard to come back when you're not making shots. So Northwestern State, 5 for 17 in the second half. They're not turning it over. No turnovers in the first 8 minutes of the second half for Northwestern State. They're 13 for 16 on free throws. Colonel possession, 11:45 to play. You know, Liam Thomas and Stevie Repahowski are trying to regain their offensive form that led to 14 points apiece in the first half. Powell hit 1 3 earlier in the second half. Can't collect his second. Trayvon Joseph, he'll clean up the glass. And Northwestern State can make it a 1-possession deficit with a field goal here. Thompson off balance. Doesn't matter. He's a scorer. Only 9 points tonight. But after scoring 38 against Nicholls in January, Thompson coming alive. It's 58-55 Nicholls. Powell anticipating the trap, and it's become a featured component of half number 2 for Northwestern State. Change the game, amplify the pressure, see if you can rattle the Colonels. Thomas not looking for his perimeter shot, and Powell at midcourt has it deflected, tipped, and saved by Hall. He'll finish with the layup. Second time Devontae Hall has come up with a midcourt takeaway, and this is what Northwestern State does. Forget the 6-game losing streak. They were on a 7-game losing streak last year when they came into Thibodaux and picked up the win. Bell trailing, not looking for his 3 early in the clock, but that might be the best look you get with the way Northwestern State is playing defense. Powell uses the screen, shoots a 3, second 3 of the second half. And Devon Powell is about to pick up his 3rd double-double in the last 2 weeks. He came in with 0 before he picked up his first of the season against Houston Baptist. 8 points, 10 assists for Powell. And Lane has it batted out of bounds. Shot clock arrested 17. Liam Thomas a couple second half blocks. And he has been able to get his hands and everything against Ishmael Lane. Colonels will keep their 2-3 matchup zone in play. Under 10 minutes to go. Lane sells the pump fake. Bullies into Bell, and it's Bell on the reach. Free throws for Lane. When you go on the road, you cannot leave the game for chance. Northwestern State challenging the Colonels in the interior, and they will assess the foul on Liam Thomas. And you could hear Coach Riley, how is that on him? If you're going to blow the whistle in that situation, it has to be on the contact that was administered by Bell. Thomas played off, rejected the shot, but he will pick up his 3rd foul. And Ishmael Lane, comfortable at the line. He'll make the free throw. He's got 15 points in the game. Second is short. Thomas on the glass. And Nicholls in possession with a 3-point lead for a transition 15-footer that Repahowski rushes. And this is what scares you. A 4-on-3 with Boyd running the point. Takes out Powell, sells the pump fake, gives it to Hall. 8-foot floater, rolls around and out. And finally, Fry can seize the rebound. Lane is on the floor. Colonels have a 5-on-4. Powell knows it, pushes tempo, locates Bell. Deep corner 3, it's long. And Powell, and over and back as Northwestern State will shoot free throws for the final 9:20. Bell had gone 3 straight games without making a 3. Hit 2 against Central Arkansas. He's been unable to connect one tonight. Ishmael Lane being pulled, and you can hear Coach McConaughey let him know, I got to keep you fresh. We got 9:20 to go, 3-point game, make it 2. Coach McConaughey, renowned for his ability to have those hockey-style shifts, 5 in, 5 out. Injury reality with Jalen West and Zeke Woodley have altered his approach this season, and with Reggie Kissenwall MIA over the last couple of weeks and not joining the team for this trip, that will only continue. Thin bench, Northwestern State gutting out a late comeback. 1 of 2 from the line for Hall. 13-point lead, a distant memory for Nicholls, but they are still on top. Late shot clock execution needed for Nicholls. Down to 10 seconds. Powell and Thomas. Nice slip, great feed. Fry all alone from the corner. 5-point lead. Second three of the game for Fry, 64-59 Nicholls. Bell, he knows Thomas has 3 fouls. Third block of the second half by Liam Thomas. Great feed from Powell to Repahowski, and he's fouled in the corner. Huge sequence for Nicholls. 3-on-1 in, late shot clock, a deep triple by Jadante Fry, and then Liam Thomas. You were anxious, you're apprehensive. He's got 3 fouls. He's dealing with a lefty who went hard to the rim. Thomas handled it perfectly, and Nicholls has possession with 8:30 to play. Thomas runs into his own teammate, still baby hooks over Bell. It's blocked. Repahowski, an offensive rebound, rejected by Bell, and a tremendous sequence for Jordan Bell. Freshman showing up defensively. Isaiah Sweeney into Thomas. Travel. A look of stunned surprise on Mike McConaughey's face. When 7 of the first 10 fouls in the second half have gone against the home team, you have to be a little cautious when you're protesting calls. This has been a favorable first 12 minutes for the veteran coach, longest tenured coach in the conference. Mike McConaughey has his demons within 5. Fry to Ward, Adam Ward, a late give, and Fry responds with a fantastic finish. 5 straight for Jadante Fry. Ward, he gets his first assist of the night. Nicholls has a 7-point lead. Fry, nothing he and Ward could do to stop Trayvon Joseph. Athletic and impossible to stop around the rim. Joseph up to 13 points. He's got 5 rebounds. Colonel lead stands at 5, and now Javon Powell ready to take some time off the clock. Try as they might, Northwestern State has been unable to tie or take the lead. Quick hook to Ward, and they will wave off the continuation. Foul on the floor will present the Colonels with a baseline inbound. 7:18 on the clock, 66-61. You knew this game would tighten up, but an impressive response by Nicholls just when it appeared as if Northwestern State was ready to take this game away from the Colonels. Nicholls has 43 points between Liam Thomas, Stevie Repahowski, and Jadante Fry. Only 2 second-half points between Thomas and Repahowski, but it's Fry coming alive. Colonels leading scorer, 13 points in 22 minutes. Central Arkansas has already lost today. Southeastern, they came up short against Stephen F. Austin. UCA and Southeastern now 7-8 in the Southland. Colonels are 5-8, 4 games remaining after tonight. After starting the week, 2.5 games out of the final playoff spot in the Southland Conference Tournament. Colonels right back in the picture. They find Rutledge for 3 out of the timeout. He's now 2 for 7, and it's a double-double for Ismail Lane. Sophomore center for Northwestern State, 13 points, 12 rebounds. He's been an active presence in the post for the Demons tonight. And with Liam Thomas out of the game, you know they're going to attack. Boyd does. He'll get free throws. Javon Powell now has 3 fouls to work with. Adam Ward playing with 4 fouls, but you have no option with Ward. Thomas has 3. Powell now has 3. After airballing a free throw on his previous attempt at the line, Josh Boyd, 2 more. And he's made 2 straight off the air ball. Goes in the books as a miss. Doesn't matter if you hit rim or hit nothing, but always interesting to see how a player responds after the psychological reality of airballing a shot. And now Adam Ward departs. Liam Thomas is back in. Your 2 best players on the floor tonight. Thomas and Powell in the game with 3 fouls. Boyd 1 for 2. Fry can't get the rebound. And Thompson waits, now goes at Thomas. He misses. Liam Thomas, 16 points, 8 blocks, 3 blocks, 8 rebounds. He's got 9 blocks in the last 2 games. Colonels in control with 6:30 to play. Thomas slips, catches, looks up and runs into Boyd. Knocked away and a late foul call. Josh Boyd, he's the recipient of his 2nd foul tonight. 2 free throws for Liam Thomas. And it's the only part of his game that has become a problem over the last 4 for Nicholls. Thomas was at 71% before his recent struggles. He connects on the first. He's now 8 for his last 17. But it's the only point of criticism you can find with Thomas's game over the last week. And he makes 2 more attempts. Liam Thomas is 10 for 12 on the season against Northwestern State. 18 points tonight. Colonels have a 6-point advantage. Sweeney gets by Thomas. He fades, fires, and scores. Tough angle. 4-point game. Isaiah Sweeney and Trayvon Joseph, they've been the difference in the second half during this Northwestern State comeback. They're down by 9. The Colonels close with 1 more bucket to make it 48-7, 48-37 at the half. Now a 68-64 advantage and a giveaway by Liam Thomas. 4 possession leads to an attack by Joseph, a slip to Lane, and he is unstoppable. Ishmael Lane. 6 points the first time we saw Lane in Natchitoches. Different story tonight. 15 points, 12 rebounds. He has 7 offensive boards. 4 straight for Northwestern State. Back to a 2-point game. Shot clock under 10. Javon Powell with Fry being pressed. Baseline into Lane. Wraparound finish. Extraordinary control by Jadante Fry. Kept thinking he was ready for the jumper. Forget that. 15 points in 25 minutes for Fry. Josh Boyd challenging and fading over Powell. Leaves it short. It's out to midcourt. Rutledge saves it. He's off and running. Rutledge, no need to give it up. He shoots the shot short. Great save by Fry. Now Bell. The re-attack into Joseph. Blocked late. Fry with 20 on the clock. 3rd time is not a charm. 70-46, 70-66, 4:40 to play. Stevie Repahowski still looking for his first field goal in the second half, and he is back in the game with under 5 to play. Repahowski, Thomas, Bell, Powell, and Fry for Nicholls. Thompson, Joseph, Sweeney. Now checking in for Northwestern State, Bailey Walker, and he'll shoot the 3 and make it. You've got to be kidding me. Bailey Walker is shooting 14% on the year. He's gone 8 straight games without a field goal. And of course, he sinks a critical 3, and just like that, Northwestern State, not only are they back in the game, but it is a 1-point lead for Nicholls with 4:28 to play. Nicholls 70, Northwestern State 69. Biggest shot of the season for the sophomore Bailey Walker. Northwestern State a possession away from taking their first lead of the night. 48-37 halftime lead. Distant memory for Nicholls. Northwestern State putting on an offensive show in the second half, and it is a 1-point advantage for the Colonels. And it's not the cast of characters you would expect to be a part of this comeback for Northwestern State. Sabri Thompson only has 9 points in this game. Trayvon Joseph up to 15. Isaiah Sweeney, big second half, he's up to 9 points. Colonels pressured on the inbound. Here comes the trap, and it's thrown away. Bell, a great save. Liam Thomas prevails, and now Bell's back in the picture. He takes out a chair, and Colonel coaching staff, they'll realign as Nicholls prepares for the final 10 seconds of the possession. ISO for Powell, deep corner, shoots the 3 over Thompson, air ball. Thomas, great save, blocked at the rim. It's a jump ball. Nicholls will maintain possession. Media timeout, 3:58 on the clock, and they'll keep the shot clock at 1. Quick conversation between Henry Howard and Danny Chance. Richie Riley protesting and saying that that ball clearly hit the rim. Critical decision. If the call stands and the shot clock remains at 1, this could go down as a double benefit for Northwestern State. You flip the possession arrow. Northwestern State has possession, and the clock will stay at 1. Powell, desperation time for Nicholls to Repahowski. Quick 3, it's up and in. They'll review it. Whistle before the shot. Initially ruled a 3, but they'll take a look and see if the clock was at 0 before the attempt. As it stands, the officials will verify the 3, but they want to look at the monitor. 73-69 if it stands. Stevie Repahowski, impressive showing, but they will wipe off the shot. Richie Riley looking for an explanation. They will not provide it to him. And Nicholls with 3:55 to play in the game. The lead stands at 1. Stevie Repahowski. His 3 is erased. Frustration boiling over for Nicholls. 70-69 Nicholls, and Northwestern State can take their first lead of the game. Javon Powell, Stevie Repahowski, Jadante Fry, Liam Thomas, and Jonathan Bell in the game for Nicholls. Isaiah Sweeney, Sabri Thompson, Trayvon Joseph, Josh Floyd, Ishmael Lane for Northwestern State. Would you have expected anything less? Demons and the Colonels on a Saturday night in South Louisiana. Ishmael Lane, the kick out to Boyd. He's already hit 2 threes, won't get his third. Powell, big rebound. Bell's on the floor. And Jonathan Bell trying to re-arrive in the picture late. Javon Powell, untimely pass and a giveaway. Colonels have no choice but to set the stage for a foul. Now, they will not credit Nicholls for a foul. The officials will intervene. Injury timeout for Bell, and it looked like Mike McConaughey just got teed up. Jonathan Bell bleeding profusely. He'll exit the game. His entire lower lip is busted up. Mike McConaughey, arms folded. Steve Orkus teed up Mike McConaughey. And the Colonels will get 2 freebies.
Red 3 gets a Class A technical foul. Red 3, Class A technical. Flip it around, let's look. We're going to look to make sure there's no player. Technical foul?
That'll be the 5th.
What are we looking back for?
What?
What are we looking back for? I didn't mark anything.
Mike McConaughey really not enjoying any of the conversation being presented to him by the officials this evening. Protesting a lack of fouls that were being assessed against Nicholls in that sequence. And name of the game at this point in the evening, when 6 of the first 7 fouls in the second half went against the home team, 9 of the 14 fouls in half number 2 have gone against Nicholls. Be careful what you wish for. If you keep harping on the officials and trying to stake your claim to disagreements in how the game's being officiated, law of averages will come back in the home team's favor, and now Nicholls will get a couple of critical free throw attempts 3:27 to lead. Nicholls just trying to protect a 1-point advantage.
So they're still counting.
Jonathan Bell into the bench with trainer Quentin Neese, who is trying to patch up his lower lip. Colonels will get free throws from Javon Powell, and Mike McConaughey still stating his case, vehemently disagreeing with the way this game has been officiated in the second half, and upset at the technical. Javon Powell turning his attention to 2 big free throw attempts. He's a junior from Tallahassee, Florida. I know his dad and mom are listening tonight. His dad's a manager at Costco in Florida. His mom moved to Texas 2 years ago. Faith Hugh, spotlight is on your son. He has been the best player in the conference this week. 16 points, 13 assists, 7 rebounds on Thursday. Javon Powell, 8 points, 11 assists, 5 rebounds tonight. And a big first free throw attempt that's in. Javon Powell with 25 straight makes from the line. He hits both of them. He is the #1 free throw shooter in the Southland Conference. And Nicholls has a 3-point lead with 3:27 to play. Fry, Powell, Rutledge, Thomas, Repahowski for Nicholls. Lane, Sweeney, Joseph, Boyd, Sabri Thompson in the game for Northwestern State. Final 3:25. Thompson only 9 points tonight. Sweeney and Joseph. Sweeney going cross court, finds Boyd, shoots the 3, and we're tied. Third 3 of the game for Josh Boyd. Had 1 point against Nicholls in January. Different story tonight. He's up to 11 in the game. Rutledge to Repahowski. His turn. 75-72 Nicholls. 6 threes on Thursday, 5 tonight for Repahowski. His first field goal the second half. Colonels on top by 3 with 3 minutes to play. Joseph and Ishmael Lane both with 15 points. Boyd is up to 11 in the game. 75-72 Nicholls, and Richie Riley receiving confirmation from Jonathan Bell that he's ready to re-enter. 2:52 on the clock. Boyd and Joseph. Joseph will challenge Fry, gets by him. Late arrival by Thomas, and he can't contest the shot. 75-74 Nicholls. Crossing half court. It's been a treacherous process for Nicholls. They have 2 seconds. Rutledge just in time. No, it's late. Turnover on the Colonels. And Northwestern State ready to retake the lead. An agonizing second half for Nicholls. They led 50-37 after scoring the first field goal the second half. Northwestern State now within 1. Jonathan Bell. If you have ever questioned his toughness, this is a tenacious player. Back in with a busted up lip. And here comes Trayvon Joseph. Wraps around the double team. Locates Sweeney. Tough jumper over Repahowski, and the Demons are on top with 2:10 to play. This Colonel senior class waiting so long to get their first win against Northwestern State. They'll have to grind one out. Nicholls lost by 5 in Natchitoches in January in a game they led all game long. Liam Thomas runs into Boyd. He attempted to set the screen, and Nicholls gets called for the offensive foul. Stevie Repahowski, it was a congested sequence. Nothing could be done, and Repahowski pulled late. Turnover on Nicholls. 1:56 on the clock. Adam Ward ready to re-enter. Repahowski will lead. Offense, defensive sequence at this stage for Nicholls. 76-75 Northwestern State. It is a battle every single time these two squads step on the floor. Boyd going right into Ward. Plenty of time on the clock, but Boyd throws it away. No need. Josh Boyd with 20 seconds on the clock. He backs out, and there's 1:25 left in this game by the time Northwestern State attempts a shot. Now it's Colonel possession, and Repahowski is back in for Ward. Last 3 home games for the Colonels have been neck and neck down to the wire. We'll do it again tonight. Final 100 seconds from Thibodaux. 76-75 Northwestern State. Thomas, quiet second half. Gets the slip, looks up, dribbles, pumps, he's hacked, and it's out of bounds off of Northwestern State. 14 in the first half, 4 in the second half. Shot clock sits at 9 for Nicholls. Repahowski catches, open, shoots, no good, but a foul will allow 3 free throws for Repahowski. Josh Boyd, panic set in when he looked up and realized 4-0 had the ball. 5 threes in the game for Repahowski. Hit 4 in the second half. For a player that doesn't shoot a lot of free throws, 3 critical ones for Stevie Repahowski. And we are tied with 1:20 to play. There's only one player in this game who has made a 3-pointer in the NCAA tournament. Stevie Repahowski did it against UCLA his freshman year at Tulsa, and he's got the Colonels on top by 1. Repahowski had attempted just 2 free throws in the last 4 games. Came in 72% on the season, makes the first 2. And you need all the separation you can get. This to make it a 2-point lead with 1:20 to go. 3 for 3. Repahowski, career high 22 on Thursday. He's trying to top that total tonight. 20 points for the Colonel Jr. And Boyd almost lost it. Powell, excellent pressure. Boyd, the re-attack into Thomas. Late handoff to Lane. He looks up, shoots, and scores. Timeout, Mike McConaughey. 1:03 to play. Adam Ward fortunate to not pick up his 5th foul. Colonel possession with 1:03 to play. At this stage in the season, it is late game drama. 78-78, 1:03 to play. 4-point win against McNeese at home 2 weeks ago. Colonels turned around. They won in overtime against Central Arkansas. And now with 1:03 to play, 78-78. Jadante Fry and Javon Powell ready to get the inbound in and press and push for Nicholls. 15 on the shot clock, 45 on the game clock. Fry had a look, won't shoot it over Boyd. Thomas and Powell down to 7. Bell just re-entered the game. Tough rim run, he misses. Thomas is fouled from behind, and he'll get free throws with 36 seconds to play. Ishmael Lane picks up his third. It's 1-1 for Nicholls. 6-second differential game clock, shot clock. Liam Thomas with his parents in attendance from Sydney, Australia. He'll look to hand the Colonels a lead. First miss of the second half for Nicholls. They were 9 for 9, and now Northwestern can take the lead. 28 seconds on the game clock, 20 seconds on the shot clock, and a timeout by Mike McConaughey.
We going overtime.
78-78, 24 seconds to play, and Northwestern State in possession. And at this point, you might be happy with overtime if you're Nicholls. Colonels have led for 98% of this game, but with Northwestern State in possession, 4-second differential, game clock, shot clock, play on is the mindset for Nicholls right now. In a normal situation, you would think Sabri Thompson would be the player that is pictured to take this shot for Northwestern State. Scored 38 against Nicholls a month and a half ago. Only 9 points, 1 of 5 on threes tonight for Thompson. Joseph has 17, Lane has 17. Isaiah Sweeney also an option with 11 points in the game. Thompson will take care of the inbound. He's got Lane, Boyd, Joseph, and Sweeney on the floor for the final 23 seconds. Colonels led by as many as 13, but now it's Northwestern State looking for their 8th straight win against the Colonels. Big moment for the senior class for both the Demons and Colonels. Shot clock at 5. Joseph against Fry, backs in, tough shot, shoots up and in with 5 seconds to play. And a timeout on the floor with 4.5 on the clock. Javon Powell came up with a game-tying three-pointer on Thursday. 4.7 seconds, plenty of time for Nicholls. 5 seconds was all it took for Javon Powell to go the length of the floor. Hit a 30-foot shot as time expired to force OT. It was 80-80 with the Colonels in overtime before winning against Central Arkansas. Now it's 80-78 Demons. How about a 3 by Powell to make it 81-80 Nicholls State? Repahowski has 20. Liam Thomas has 18. Fry has 15. Quiet shooting night for Powell, but he's got 11 assists to go along with his 10 points. And Nicholls will have the opportunity to win this game. Length of the floor creates a challenging scenario for Nicholls. They're out of timeouts. And Richie Riley wanting to ensure that he can diagram and discuss one play and one play only. No need to make a baseball pass to midcourt, call the timeout, and then reassess. Coach Riley will draw up the final play in this huddle right now. Northwestern State has relied heavily on their defense to get back in this game, and now they need one final stand. It was 86-81 Demons in January. Same scenario, same type of comeback. Colonels led the whole game, and then at about the 13-minute mark, tables flipped. Northwestern State prevailed by 5. They've got the 2-point advantage because of unexpected scores coming up with the biggest buckets of the night. And we asked the question, who's it going to be? Who gets this shot with Sabri Thompson scoring? Only 9 points for Thompson. That's fine, said Trayvon Joseph. He gets the turnaround to fall over Fry. 19 points, 5 rebounds for Joseph. And he's one of those players that's been perfect in his career against Northwestern State. Northwestern State senior has never lost to Nicholls. Demons on top. Colonels ready to retaliate. Nicholls will break the huddle with 0.2 of a second added to their cause. They'll put 4.9 seconds on the game clock. 80-78 Northwestern State. Rapahowski, Fry, Thomas, Powell, and Rutledge for Nicholls. Lane, Thompson, Joseph, Sweeney, and Josh Boyd for Northwestern State. Final 5 seconds, and Fry on the inbound. It's to Powell, no surprise, midcourt at 2. He'll get a good look. Right wing open for the win. It's short. Northwestern State prevails. 80-78. Demons hold on. 8-0 against the Colonels. With the seniors on the floor for the Demons, and Northwestern State spoiling Nicholls' efforts to regain their footing in the Southland Conference playoff picture. 6-game losing streak over for the Demons. Colonels fall to 5-9 in conference play and 12-15 on the year. 80-78, Northwestern State with the win. We'll see you again next week. Thursday night will be on ESPN Radio New Orleans. Colonel basketball at Incarnate Word. Only 4 games remaining in this 2017 season for Nicholls. Great comeback for Trayvon Joseph and Northwestern State tonight.